This is the CLIMACO podcast.
Talk about that dream. How did that dream come to be?
So I came from Baltimore, Maryland. My mom and dad both work full time, so I watched my family, struggle in a sense. And I wanted to create generational wealth, right?
Yeah.
So didn't know exactly which way I was going to go, how I was going to make it happen. And at the end of the day, right, I tell people all the time I'm a retired underachiever. So I was someone who dropped out of college.
You're a retired underachiever. I like that. I never heard that before.
Yeah, retired underachiever. So I ended up dropping out of college, bro. And my very first business was network marketing. So I got into network marketing industry at 22 years old.
The roots.
That's the roots. And so fast forward, today we teach people how to rob the banks, but legally. And we focus on helping people get capital to grow, scale, start their businesses. And it really just came from starting in Baltimore, having a mindset to win. And I say it all the time that we're all born to win, but you're programmed to fail. If that makes sense. Yeah. And so just wanting to go 100%. Against the programming, the programming of the system, the programming of the school system, the systems, the infrastructures. Even when you think about just growing up in the hood and growing up around people that don't have money and that's impoverished and don't understand financial literacy, those are kind of systems that you grow up in and you just try to navigate out of it. And some people never get out, but unfortunately for me, I will thank my parents for the way that I think and how I operate and how I navigate. And so that was one of the ways I was able to kind of get out because I was one of the person that trusted in myself and believed in me. And so when I came across even the network marketing industry, I got in right away, and that started working on my mindset. Because you got to work on your mindset more than your skill set, right? It's 90% mindset, 10% skill set, and so that was big 100%. For me. Just working on my mindset, bro. And once my mind changed, I tell people all the time, bro. Once you change your mind, then everything will change for you.
What were you going to school for that you dropped out?
I was going to school for accounting, right? So let me tell you, I was in high school. I love basketball. I had hoop dreams, but as you can see, I'm about 5'7", and so it was like, that might not work. And I was in my senior year in high school, I had like these electives. So it was like a business ed,
right?
It was accounting, and then it was another elective. I couldn't think, right? And so my teacher at the time, he was like, "Yeah, bro, if you become an accountant, accountants make like $80,000 a year." Mind you, that was money to me because my dad worked for the city, made maybe $35,000-$40,000 a year. So that to me
double.
was like, yo, I'm doubling my dad's income. I could be successful at it. Yeah. Bro, I got to Morgan State. And, I tell people all the time, I'm not a Morgan alum. I'm a Morgan bum, right? Because I dropped out. I couldn't get with the accounting. And so I
love your catchphrases.
Yeah, I didn't like so with accounting, it's a bunch of numbers. It's balance sheets and things like that, which is good financially. But I didn't see myself long-term counting other companies' money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to make money. I want to see how this really works. And so I never really fell in love with school because in high school, what kept me in school was basketball. So when it come to I want to play, I got to get good grades. Right. When I got to college, I wasn't playing basketball anymore. So now it's just the girls, it's the marijuana, it's chasing all the other things that really didn't matter. And that's really where the crossroad came in. So I ended up dropping out. And what woke me up was the network marketing industry. Like what gave me a sense of vision, a sense of direction. Was network marketing because I wanted to get rich. I wanted to own my own business, and it seemed like a viable way, to get out of the situation that I was in. So I remember getting started in that industry. And it's like, yo, I'm about to get rich. I'm telling everybody I'm about to get rich. I'm telling everybody we about to win. We're going to do something big. And so it's really that. It's really that. You start working on your mindset. You start seeing the difference in how people want to hang out and party. I remember I stopped playing PlayStation. I literally got into the industry, bro, and stopped playing PlayStation, stopped playing Xbox, stopped playing video games, because you start seeing all that stuff is a distraction. You had a new game to play. Yeah, it's a distraction, bro. And there's a lot of stuff that we do, and it's like you do it because other people do it because of the environment that you're in. Right. Not realizing that your environment is shaping your circumstances. And if 100%. If you change your environment, change what you're doing, you could change that. So that's really what happened, bro. So that's how I ended up kind of redirecting myself. But yeah, accounting was the industry. Didn't really like it. It didn't seem good to me. I never saw myself working a 9 to 5, 30, 40, 50 years of my life. So
yeah, that don't fit you.
Yeah.
I don't see you being an accountant.
I couldn't do it, bro. Yeah.
How did you get into network marketing? Who showed you that path?
So that's funny, man. So I sold marijuana in college, in Morgan State.
Amen.
And hand-to-hand transactions, right? So what happened was one of my friends called me.
Hold on, real quick. Yeah. People they hear that and they want to judge it, bro. Most drug dealers are the best salespeople and best CEOs I've ever met in my life.
Sure. To be honest, bro,
The skills you learn on the street, it's crazy.
so to be honest, bro, like I had a job at McDonald's at first, like just a job at McDonald's, and they kept playing my hours. Like, you work 30 hours this week, next week you work 10 hours. Like, man, I'm trying to get to it. I always wanted to get to it. I remember working at McDonald's and they play with your hours, and it's like, it's not even about the hours, it's about my check. Like, my check is not gonna make money. So one day they play with my hours, and it goes back to your environment, right? So they play with my hours. I'm at Morgan State one day, and this guy like, yo, look, I got a couple bags of weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give them to you, on an arm, and then basically you can pay me back.
Right.
I'm like, bet. I don't know nothing about it for real, but it's like, well, I was a person that smoked marijuana at the time, but I didn't know anything about like the business side of it.
Gotcha.
So when he gave me the marijuana, I'm like, hey, look, you can sell each bag for this. This is how much you got to give me back. So he probably
What did he give you, like 2 ounces?
No, he wasn't even that much, bro. He probably gave me like 25 worth of weed.
Okay.
And he was like, bro, if you sell each bag for like $10, you know what I'm saying? I think it was like maybe $5-10.
Right.
And I make $50. It was, matter of fact, it was I could sell $5 a bag. I think he gave me like 10 bags. That's $50. I only owed him $25.
Okay.
I'm like,
Bet. Let's go.
Let's start it. So I'm on campus. Everybody, it's easy. So I think I sold the 10 bags like 2 days, maybe 2 days. I'm like, boom.
Yeah.
I gave him the money back. I'm like, all right, bet. I gotta re-up. So I started basically that was how I started my business. I took the 25, gave it back to him. I had about 25 left. I said, bro, I need where can I get I need to get my own package. And that's how I started it. And so boom, from there I started making, a little bit of money here and there with it. But what I liked about it was that I didn't have to work a job to make money. I can make money around my own time.
Right.
And when people will call
Give you freedom.
like when people will call me, yo, I'm over here. Bet, I'm on my way. I had excellent customer service, bro. Like, yo, I don't even want you to move. Yo, you at the Forest Lofts? Bro, I'm on the way. Don't even move. I'm on the way. And so I started with that. One day I was outside.
I wish I knew you back then.
Yeah, it's crazy. One day I was outside. Me and my friends was outside, and we met this guy. He was driving a Lexus, and he was like, yeah, bro. This is around like 2000, let's say 12, 13. So this is right before Exotic or Loud came out. Like, so
Got it.
Like we still like Arizona days, AZ days now, like, Blue
New York
Dream
Sour
coming out.
Diesel.
Yep. The Loud coming out. And so got like, yo, I got some Sour Diesel. Like, I'll sell it to you for this. And I'm like, bet, and I really just started, building it, bro, building it. Because I was at Morgan State, the clientele was so simple. It was just staying on campus and just making sure I was available. So that was one of the reasons why I would never stay in class. Because like, I'd be in class, math class, you get a text, boom, I'm trying to get 3 for 25. I'm trying to get, man, I ain't making no money in class.
No.
Yo, I gotta go to the bathroom.
You're spending money in class.
I'm out. You know what I mean? I'm out. And so, it became like my very first business. I didn't really understand what it was morphing into, but I understood customer service. I understood marketing. I understood something about sales.
Yes.
And I understood just being available for customers. Because one of the things about in that business, like, yo, people want somebody that's gonna be available. Because if you don't answer the phone, guess what? They're gonna call the next person, and it's like, yo, you just lost out on money.
Exactly.
And you realize how quick it can be, because people gonna have different plugs, different people they can get to. But you realize, like, if you somebody that's dependable to answer the phone, you can definitely get to it. So that's basically how I started with that, bro. And really, yeah, you can become a good salesman and all that kind of stuff. But transitioning to how I got into network marketing, I got a call from a friend, and he was like, bro, I want a match. If you know what a match is, like, basically I roll up one, you roll up one. He was like, I'm gonna bring a friend. He brings a friend. The day before, and mind you, the whole time I'm doing this, I still got a job. I still got, I used to work 3 to 11 in the weekday. I used to work 9 in the morning to 11 at night on Saturdays and Sundays. So I was working 68-hour weeks.
Doing what?
It was working with people with mental disabilities.
Okay.
So it wasn't a hard job, but for you to make money, you gotta spend time on the clock. So something happened to the job. They was playing on my hours, or something happened. I can't remember exactly what it was. But the next day, after I had a little issue at the job, my guy calls me, yo, let's match. He brings his friend. So at the job, though, the night before, I looked up How to Get Rich, and the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad audio version came up. At the time, I don't know nothing about SEO, but he must have been like at the top of the SEO for How to Get Rich or something rich.
Yep.
So I listened to the book, and in that book, it's talking about the rich dad being the high school dropout. The poor dad is the one with the PhDs and all that.
Yep.
I'm at this very moment in college. So I'm like, hold up, the poor dad is the one that got the PhDs. That's the path that I'm on right now, and I don't want to be poor. Boom, the rich dad, he done dropped out. He owned businesses. He's doing this. He's doing that. Light bulb went off, right? Because now what happens is that and like my guy Nehemiah say, once a mind has been expanded to something different, you never can unsee it, right?
No, 100%.
So once I read the book or got the audio version and I'm listening and it's like, yo, okay, so this poor dad got all the education, went to college, did all this, but the rich dad did this. Like, I want to be more like the rich dad. The next day, I'm talking about the book. Everybody I know. Every conversation I'm having, I'm just talking about the book. It literally blew my mind so much that it literally was like the topic of my conversation to everybody I had a conversation with.
That's incredible.
Because it was like that aha moment.
You found a new path.
Yeah.
You found a new way.
Yeah, bro. Information changes situations.
Yes.
So we all link up. Me and my guy that called me, and we link up, and he's with a guy, and I'm talking about the book. He like, oh, I like your mindset, the way you think, that you got to meet my mentors. So meet your mentors. Man, where I come from Baltimore, people don't have mentors. They have football coaches.
Okay.
They have basketball coaches. They might have a coach that deals with sports.
Right.
But the word mentor was just like, your mentor.
Unknown.
Yeah, it was like, well, who's your mentor? So what threw me off was, though, he was like, yeah, bro, you got to come meet us at the Morgan State Library. I'm like, hold up. Sir. Because if anybody was getting money at Morgan State, I would have known them because I was on campus. I was, well to me known. I got around. Like, I knew people.
Right.
So that kind of threw me off. But long story short, about 2 weeks went past, and I hit him up, and I was like, bro, what's up with those mentors you was telling me about? He was like, bro, you got to come back to the Morgan State Library. I'm like, all right, bro. So I come to the library, and one of the guys was in my English class that I ran into, and then they played this video, bro. At the time, it's 2014. Donald Trump's on the video. Donald Trump's like, yeah, man, this is the greatest opportunity. If you don't get in this, and he didn't say you're stupid, but like low key, if you don't get in this, you're stupid. In
his Trumpian way.
It's Trump at 2014 though. So mine just before presidential election. Everybody loves Trump. Everybody knows Trump for being a billionaire. Everybody associates Trump with
Apprentice and all that.
Bingo. Everybody associates him with money. So I'm like, wow, I like the information, but I didn't sign up on the spot. The crazy thing is, and that's how I thought it was like meant to be. So remember I told you I used to work 9 in the morning to 11 at night, Saturday and Sundays. They had an event on a Saturday. My supervisor calls me Friday night and was like, hey, you don't got to work overtime this weekend. Now, this is how much of a hustler I am. And I kind of like, I'll tell you the real story. So I literally goes in anyway. I go in to work anyway like I forgot that they called me, right? Going to work anyway, right? But the event started like 2 o'clock. I went to work from like 9 to 1, ended up going to the event, and I still stayed on the clock from 1 to 11 anyway. So I still got all the money from the job, which is basically
incredible. What
a
hustler.
You know what I mean? But I went to the event. When I went to the event, it was people were dressed up, and I saw success for the first time outside of drug dealers or basketball players or movie stars and things of that sort. Wow. And I was like, I want to associate myself with that. So I got started. And
so you're like what, like 20, 21, 22?
22.
Man, what an exposure at 22.
Yeah, it was, and that's the thing, right? It was an environment. It was a different environment.
Yeah.
And so once I locked in, and what's crazy is that like, so you start the business and you want to be successful. What happens is that the difference between how people that are successful and people that are not successful is how they think.
100%.
Right? And so now...
And their actions.
Yep. And that's predicated due to how they think and how they operate. So now that's where personal development came in, because now it's the Jim Rohns, it's the Eric Thomases, it's introduced me to a whole other world.
The Godfathers.
And now it's like, okay, now I have to redirect how I think. And so I started, I call it Car University, because one of my mentors said that you shouldn't be even listening to music if you're not making $100,000 a month.
Wow.
So I was like, bet. So all I did was listen to Challenge to Succeed. I'm Jim Rohn.
You shouldn't even be listening to music if you're not making $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
That's a luxury.
Yeah. Because it goes back to what, and especially the music we come up on. What is it depositing into your mindset? What is it depositing into your spirit, right? Like, what is it depositing into you?
That's incredible.
You know what I mean? And so,
I've never heard that before. That's such a good way to phrase it.
Yeah, because it's all in what we listen to. It kind of frames how we think and our actions and all that stuff.
Right.
So yeah, but that was the start. Network marketing. So still involved to this day, but that was definitely like the major thing that like shifted how I started moving. And then you start going to the events and start like getting into the rooms and start all that kind of stuff and wanting to be successful. And then you start realizing how a lot of people, and it's not just network marketing, but any business in general, a lot of people just don't take their business seriously, because a lot of people are predicated on going to work and 30, 40, 50 hours at a job. You build another man's company. You don't really build anything for yourself.
Right.
And most people have been sold that dream. And, it's like, that's why it's people like me and you, because like, it's like we have a dream and it's like, no, I'm not going to take all of my time and spend it here. I'm going to go do whatever it takes to win over here.
Exactly.
And it's like, I think that's why it's so easy to win and make money, because there's so many people not trying to win. So easy to win. You know what I mean? If you just do something different, you'll win because 97% of people are focusing on failure.